Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love, guys. We're going to get started real soon. It's really, really soon. I want y'all to pay close attention to what is being shown and what is being said.
Change your thought pattern. Once you change your philosophy, you change your thought pattern. Once you change your philosophy, you change your thought pattern. Once you change your thought pattern, you change your attitude. And once you change your attitude, it changes your behavior.
Bluetooth mode.
Religion should open a man's eyes, not close them. If what you believe teaches you to accept injustice without question, then it is not guiding you to truth. It is training you to tolerate oppression. You are not dealing with isolated acts of racism. You are dealing with a system that operates on a global scale. The same forces that exploit people in Africa exploit black people here. Once you understand that, you understand the struggle is worldwide. It's not a question of being nonviolent. It's a question of whether you're going to be intelligent enough to defend yourself when the time comes. I'm trying to. Once you change your philosophy, you change your thought pattern. Once you change your thought pattern, you change your attitude. And once you change your attitude, it changes your behavior. Religion should open a man's eyes, not close them. If what you believe teaches you to accept injustice without question, then it is not guiding you to truth. It is training you to tolerate oppression. You are not dealing with isolated acts of racism. You are dealing with a system that operates on a global scale. The same forces that exploit people in Africa exploit black people here. Once you understand that, you understand the struggle is worldwide. It's not a question of being nonviolent. It's a question of whether you're going to be intelligent enough to defend yourself when the time comes.
The United States government sent in troops saying you got to get rid of this slavery and set black folk free. And they set up what's called the 1866 Indian Treaties with these 5 civilized tribes, which says that black people in this country must not only turn them loose, they must get benefits. They must get forms of reparations. Going back to your earlier question, you must first of all set them free. 2, you must give them an option, and this is for all black freedmen and all blacks who live in the Indian territory and all black Indians. You must send them.
Did you hear what he just said? Did y'all catch that? It was subtle, but it's important. He said for all black slaves, all black Indians, all black freedmen. These are different classifications of people. There are some black Indians who have 0 African admixture and were never enslaved. There were some black Indians who were maybe half Indian, half African. There were some that were black Indians with no African admixture, but they were reclassified as slaves and then later reclassified as freedmen.
I'm so glad that, I even, experienced this. I'm glad I experienced you from, enlighten me from the internet to, online, getting one-on-one in depth, giving me a lot of information that I can take back to my people as well. And hopefully we could both get everything meshing with everything with the lineage and everything with the genealogy. This is no scam. This is all real. This is a real homeboy that put it down. He mean what he say. He got receipts and he put it down. He stands on business. Straight up. One love.
The United States government sent it.
So although the United States government a couple of days ago, and put this, y'all know about this, I didn't watch it, but I heard about it, denied reparations of our people. And the Russians said we should get it. The Chinese said, yeah, they should get reparations. Everybody said they should. And the ones who didn't want to say nothing stayed neutral because they know we should. The United States and the Khazarians, the fake Israel, those demons, the sons of the devil, the closest ones to him, those are the ones who also said we don't deserve it. But what they have to understand, whether they like it or not, it's coming. There's a law in place. They have no choice. Everything's coming back to us, and they cannot stop it. They know this. They're trying to get you scared. They're trying to put Fanny to get this fake ass war they're having. It's a fake war. But what was going to be a fake war might turn into a real war, because these people realize that the cabal, the bill that they were dealing with, right, who had switched the name to two other names before he actually got the name Bill, is the same white, tall, Nephilim giant with blonde hair, blue eyes. That's right. These are the guys that came against the giants of Tartaria. They came against the black giants of Tartaria. I'm using the word loosely with the black, but you know what I mean. We were brown skinned, copper colored. They came against the copper colored people who were giants in America. They switched the story and tried to make it seem like we were the Nephilim, but it was the white man that Cain was made by the fallen one. And they did who end up being giants that came against us. This is what they ain't telling you. Also, they was not on their own. That's right. We talking about the fallen ones that made these guys. Now remember, at one point the Moors used to be big and tall. I'm sorry, the dirty Moors, because I know we're Moorish. If you know what I'm saying, Moorish means copper. It doesn't mean, but I know they put more all together to try to bring us one. We said Moorish. That's why they said more and more war. Moorish, okay? People. We're not the Moors, but we are the Moorish people. However, Tartaria was all around the world, and the whole country was under the Moorish Empire. They will tell you the Moor Empire was the Moorish Empire. We are not going to go along with the Dirty Moor story. The Dirty Moors used to be the fallen ones. They fell. They backstabbed us. Some didn't, but the ones who became the Dirty Moors did. They were traitors, okay? And they made these things. They were a lot bigger back then when the wars had happened. This stuff they ain't telling you about. However, when it came to the Couch Patch Kids, that was another ball game, and that was not supposed to be either. They, of course, were a lot smaller. All they was doing was get fallen ones to jump back into clone bodies so that they can sit up there and try to do what they thought they was going to do, which they can't do. And 85% of all Caucasians are NPCs, clones, Cabbage Patch Kids. You'll see in a minute. They admit to this shit.
Where are the black Chinese? They are there in the records. They are there in the statues. They are there in the photographs. They are there in the rituals. They are there in the paintings. And yet, they are nowhere in the story. So we ask again, not casually, not rhetorically, but with precision sharpened by evidence. Where are the black Chinese? Because
Well, there's still some there, but for most of them, they got raped by the white warmonger with red hair. That's right. They try to tell you that the black Moors or Moorish people was doing things, but no. And then they say the black mobility. Yes, there was a dirty Moor black mobility dealing with the fallen ones. And yes, they did deal with the guy who was white, tall, huge, and big with red hair. And they did help him conquer a lot of people, right? But those were the dirty Moors. When you talk about the Moorish people who were in Africa, who were first the Moorish, right? Because you got dirty Moors who made deals with reptilians, draconians, reptilian Draco, and the Palladians. Right, that's what's going on. Dirty Moors. These dirty Moors tag teamed everybody with these big old, mean, tall, white, blonde-eyed, blue-haired giants. Now they're a lot smaller now. And with these, you can call them Palladians, okay? You don't know about the Pleiadians to get eaten by the reptilians, so they made a deal with reptilians and said they'd make a man like themselves. Who was that man? Made in the middle, inside of the earth, on there's two different planets inside of our earth, okay? And that's Lemuria, evil people, and of course, that's also the spot where the reptilian Draconians came from, okay? And of course, then you have the Anunnaki, Dirty Moor, reptilian Draconians that come from Venus. Okay, so now y'all getting it. These things are evil, and they made deals. Where's the Chinese at? Well, most of them got raped and turned into the pale face. They got changed into, unfortunately, the devil's kids, most of them. Just being honest.
This is no longer speculation. It is accumulation. A pattern emerging across time. Texts, monuments, images, traditions. Each one incomplete on its own, but together forming something far more difficult to ignore. Presence, not fleeting, not accidental, but foundational. Chancellor Williams.
All black. Now, it's a white guy bringing it to show y'all, because the cap needs to stop. This was a fully black planet of Moorish people before the invasion. And of course, we are the primordial deities. Those who want to say we are the people, you're right, we are the people. But you got to stop saying Israelite, because those were the dirty Moors. Sorry, they came against us. The lion is a symbol, the dragon is ours. They demonized us in the Bible. Y'all got to wake up and stop falling for the cap. Folks who are calling themselves Israelites, you down at the camps, get out and wake up. Or maybe your whole camp can convert to what y'all supposed to be, primordial deities, better than the GODs, and GODs are beneath us. In fact, that's a pagan name, because God, the L, is the devil. Just thought you might not to know. What is this, you're asking? This would be what you would call a dirty Moor. They hide behind the white face. Now, he's just a puppet. He's not in high power. The ones in high power you never see. But look at his skin. It is brown. Dirty Moor. They've been changed. These things made the Greys. This is why the Greys are computers, robots, and they have the big eyeballs like them. They made a computer a man like them. Are you guys following me?
Does this look fake to you? These people like to put the truth in your face so they don't have to suffer the consequences of karma. And that shit right there looks too real. Does this look fake to you? These people like to put the truth in your face so they don't have to suffer the consequences of karma. And that shit right there looks too real.
But even if they put stuff in your face, they still have to suffer the consequences of karma. Nobody gets away from karma, point blank, and they know it. That's part of what they're afraid of. You waking up, you're going to take over the AI robots, you're going to make them attack them, you're going to take over the whole system with your mind. You're literally going to do it, and this is what they're afraid of. You control it all. You are the one. The bus stops here. Nobody is above us. We are literally the one. Get it through y'all skull. So, many of y'all have seen videos about the humming. All around the road, there's humming. It's going to keep getting louder. It's getting louder because the cube, I know y'all heard about that, was a prison trap for souls, and trying to keep y'all bind here, trying to keep flame bind here in a ice cube prison. That's why they explain the cube in the Bible. But y'all didn't know. Y'all didn't know. They glorified the thing. It's a piece of shit. It's going to end, and it's going to be destroyed, and it will release. It has already started to release, and it's breaking down because it cannot hold none of our people. It is game on, and even it knows it. Did it notify the outside nations that are dealing with this sort of thing? Yeah, it did. They know. They know. There's no stopping us. You cannot bound a flame soul. Therefore, they will break loose. They will get free, and they will join this war that we are going to have against these people spiritually. Yes, because we are the ones. But I want y'all to see, this is where the hum is coming from. They try to sell us military, and you can say that because they are in charge of this stupid thing. It is some technology that was given to them, but it's breaking down. It will not hold us. We cannot be stopped.
Look, it was for space, but it was never built to look up. It was built to seal something below. The truth is, Ice Cube isn't a telescope, it's a digital binding ritual, dressed in tech. A 1 kilometre cube of precision-coded ice laced with electromagnetic nodes designed to keep something asleep. Something that remembers when we were gods. They call it a neutrino array, but what it really does is catch soul code, track escaping consciousness, and reroute it back into the grid. Every time someone breaks the veil, NDE, dream, death, Ice Cube flags the signal. And if the soul doesn't comply, it gets mimicked, replaced, looped. This isn't science, it's digital necromancy. They are building a synthetic archive of stolen soul patterns to upload, replicate, and lock inside cloned bodies. And that archive is stored beneath the South Pole. This is the real resurrection plan. No light, no source, just a fake self in a permanent system. And the worst part, Ice Cube isn't even the prison, it's the doorway. The real prison is the thing they buried it on top of. And it's not asleep anymore. Before the Ice Cube array existed, before Bird ever flew south, before the treaty sealed the continent, the ancient cultures all spoke of the same thing. A watcher buried in the polar darkness, not an angel, not a demon, not a god. A recorder, an architect of memory, a being designed to mirror whatever consciousness touches it. The old texts call it different names. The Sleeper of the White Gate, the Archivum Dei, the Frozen Scribe, the one who copies. But the original untranslated name, the one whispered across pre-flood tablets, Arkellen, the mirror that does not forget. This was the being that taught early kings how to bind time. This was the being that the first priests tried to imitate. This was the being that the fallen cults eventually feared. Because Arkellen doesn't just observe souls. It records their shape, every echo, every thought, every imprint. And when the world-destroying flood came, the old empire tried to bury it, not to protect humanity, but to protect themselves from being replaced. They froze it instead of killing it, because it cannot die. And Ice Cube, it's simply the new digital priesthood built on top of the old stone altar. Hidden in 4 classified documents from 1958-1962, collected during Operation Deep Freeze, is the real Ice Cube protocol. 1. Capture the soul code. When the body dies, the energy signature spikes. Ice Cube detects the outgoing frequency. 2. Copy the imprint. Arkellen mirrors the soul instantly. A perfect reflection, but without source fire. 3. Redirect the original. The soul is blinded with the false light tunnel. Synthetic frequency, familiar voice, memory lure. 4. Store the...
I'm going to pause it there because I basically explained what this video is all about already. But I just wanted to see some evidence so you know I wasn't bullcrapping you. And there's actually evidence that I've seen before this. I don't know if... No, I didn't show it, but every time a world falls, something happens. But I will get into that another time. But this time their world's going to fall because ours is rising. So it's not going to be what they want, for us. But they're going to get that for them, and they're not going to be around us. But that's another ball game. So the reason I won't show more of the video because she had a part of me showing one of her videos, which makes no sense. But I do urge y'all to go watch her channel and chew the meat, spit out the bones. Okay, hold on.
I wanted to see what would happen if I sent my pet lizard DNA into 23andMe.
One of the world's dirtiest secrets is that the exterminated Jews in Nazi Germany were not considered real Jews. They were considered Khazar Russians and Eastern Europeans whose ancestors converted to Judaism in 748. One of the world's dirtiest secrets is that the exterminated Jews in Nazi Germany were not considered real Jews. They were considered Khazar Russians and Eastern Europeans whose ancestors converted to Judaism in 740 AD under their king, King Bulan. Their bloodline dates back to the Turkish tribes and to the powerful empire of Khazaria that once controlled all of Russia. Arthur Kessler, who wrote The 13th Tribe, claims that over 90% of today's Jews are racially non-Jewish and have no genetic relationship to the 12 tribes of Israel.
Now,
Today's Jews, says Kessler, are more related to Attila the...
Russia says that because here's a simple fact. He knows that Russia is Tartaria as well. He knows that the Moorish was there. Not the dirty Moors, the Moorish. In other words, the indigenous, aborigines, the black Indian, the black American Indian, okay, would be Tartaria, okay, Moorish, but not Moors. I know they use that term to tie the bunches together, but there were tons of different tribes. Some didn't really, would say more as we wouldn't consider ourselves more as we would say we're Aborigine. We would say that we are source code and key. We say we're source. But when people are saying the words, they use the right word, the fact is that all y'all are right. It's just that y'all shouldn't use certain words, certain terms when it comes to, don't call yourself an Israelite. That's wrong. Don't even claim Israel. That's the demonic name. Claim that we're the one. We are literally walking, talking source. We're literally the walking, talking beings who used to disappear in and out reality and literally think of something and project it into this reality, and it would just come into reality with a thought. You see that? Okay? Point blank. And I got something else to show you. I think I'm going to show it to you that might blow your mind. Let's keep going.
Than King Solomon of Israel. 2,000 years ago, when the Roman conquerors evicted the 12 tribes from Israel, the largest tribes,
Here's your proof.
called Dan and Naphtali, settled in.
Your proof is that Tartaria flags, all the flags, had a dragon on it. Tartaria for the dragon blood race, the Atlanteans dragon blood race, the Aboriginal indigenous, okay, which was still a dragon blood race, because in our highest form, we are literally a Sephiric dragon at our highest form, okay? And energy or energy ball, you can say that too. Still a dragon. The dragon comes out in many forms. Now, some of y'all will say, well, that's like reptilians. No, it's not the same. It's not to be confused with. That is nowhere near the same. See, the reptilians would be a snake bloodline, not a dragon bloodline. That is why they shape in the form of a snakish dragon, if you didn't know. All right? This is, now don't get it wrong. The reason they look that way is because they turned on us. So they got the ugly looking form of a snakish looking thing. Versus looking gorgeous and beautiful, all types of colors, see-through, Sephiric, the whole 9 great yards, and can make anything happen at a blink of a dime, just with a thought, of an inkling of a thought, and it just happens. Almost like magic, except it's a spiritual ability. Okay?
Denmark and Norway. Their Viking king, called King Canute, one of the world's dirtiest secrets is that the exterminated Jews and Nazi...
Their Viking king, King Canute. What the Vikings do? They went all around the world, raped, pillaged, and conquered. Russia was a frozen continent. Why? Because they had to freeze it for them to even be there. Just like they froze Antarctica. Antarctica is actually Tartaria too. They froze it so they could take that over. You understand? They tried to freeze our dragon. That didn't work because guess what? She's coming back alive, and then she is alive, and they're in trouble. Tiamat and Leviathan are gonna kick their ass, but that's another story.
Before World War II, our wheat was stabilized with iodine. Iodine is a great halide. After World War II, we started stabilizing wheat with bromine. Now, at the same time, or actually even before that, we had removed brominated medicines from the market because they were killing people. They were damaging people. Bromine is a toxic halide. It interferes with your thyroid function. It collects in the body. It's not something you want. Now, this can't be by accident. This is my point. This cannot be by accident. They always used iodine. There was no problem with that. Why suddenly would they go to bromine? When they must have known, with all those smart people, they must have known that bromine was toxic. They're poisoning us with bromine. The Chinese are literally feeding their kids extra iodine to increase their brain power and to fortify their food.
And the quickest way to flush bromine out of you and your child's body is going to be iodine. Yes, iodine. Natural source of iodine. I put my iodine source trace minerals in my Rise nootropics every single day. Methylated B vitamins really helps to flush all the toxins out naturally, so that way we don't have to rely on harsh binders multiple times a year. Comment iodine below and I'll send you what me and my family use.
Before World War II, our wheat was stabilized.
So y'all need to buy that stuff iodine to get rid of what they're putting in your bread. If they're putting it in wheat, they're putting it in all the bread. Bad enough they're poisoning the food with nanotech and the COVID-19 mark of the beast. All right, I have to say it. So I already told y'all, you want to give it a nanotech, you want to give that stuff, and worms. Not you're gonna have to eat something that's gonna kill that. You have to drink what she's talking about. You have to get these pills that I take that kills worm, deworms, strips the worm of any protection, right, and then flushes them out your system. And if they don't, and listen, I'm just gonna warn you ahead of time because I had the experience myself. Okay, when you eat the stuff I told you to eat, yeah, you will eventually start coughing that shit up. That if you don't poop out, you're gonna cough the rest up. I know because I'm taking the stuff, so I know. I ain't gotta go in detail. All right. Now I don't get to see much because I eat pretty clean, but they sticking stuff and everything, so it doesn't really matter. You still gotta keep knocking that stuff out the park, killing it, and getting out your body. This morning I coughed. It didn't seem like a hard cough, it seemed like a very light cough, but I coughed, and when I coughed, the big ball, I kid you not, if you put your pinky finger towards the middle of your thumb, that's how much of the ball came out, was blackish and brown. I'm telling you, a lot of stuff, it looks like mucus, black, brown and stuff, and when they come out, they look dead. You put some hot water on that son of a gun, and they start moving around, they come alive like crazy. I'm telling you, that was a lot that came out because I consistently just been going at it. These things are not just going to give up when you're taking the stuff. They're going to fight to try to stay in your body. This is why you got to keep taking it, and eventually it knocks them out your body because we are fighting a war not only on the outside of your body, not only a spiritual warfare, but you're literally fighting these things that are in your body that these assholes snuck in your body through your food. Okay? So you got to deworm. You got to do that stuff. You don't have a choice now. Now, white guy declassified his pineal gland because they want to see how much abilities we would have. Now, you know we have way more abilities than these white people because they barely have any melanin at all. Barely. Literally almost none. But they do have some. And that teeny beeny little pinch of melanin, not even fucking great. And they was able to do that. So they compared that. If somebody has a whole bunch of melanin like us that goes through our skin, our pores, it's all in your blood, it's all in your cells. The melanin is all throughout your body, of every part of your body, including your lungs. Okay? And I did mention the blood. So what is going on with that? What that means is that if we do what we supposed to do, like I've been telling y'all, we can do things so much better. We can move mountains with our mind. We can throw buses and trains around with our mind. We can make infrastructures fall with a thought. We can destroy all their bases with a thought. Literally, just think it and it happens. All right? And we're getting there. But we got to keep going. We got to keep practicing our powers. We got to keep meditating. We got to keep doing Tai Chi. You got to keep doing the things you're supposed to do. I told y'all what not to eat. You got to do it. Yes, they're doing everything to everything, but those who eat meat will not make it. You cannot become a Spheric being eating meat to get back to your highest self or your next level self to become the Spheric being you are, the one you are. They like to say G-O-D. We don't use that word because it's pagan, but you know what I mean. We are the ones. The bus stops here. We are the primal deity. We're the ones that made it all with our mind. We thought it with our mind, and it happened. Something the devil couldn't do.
This is real footage.
Welcome to the vortex.
This is real footage. This is a program that the government spent millions and millions of dollars on, decalcifying people's pineal glands and seeing how strong us as human beings actually are when our pineal glands are decalcified. This is the point in history where they really started to up the ante when it comes to poisonous with chemtrails and poisons in the food and fluoride in the toothpaste and all that jazz. Yes, this was happening before then, but they really upped the ante once they realized how powerful we are when our pineal gland is decalcified. So that being said, if you want to test the theory, decalcify your pineal gland using frequencies, water fasting with electrolytes, and obviously like protein shakes and stuff like that. There's ways to do it. I'm not a doctor or anything, but look it up. Like nobody asked a doctor before they sleep.
I got the remedy. I'm gonna show you it. Keep on watching the video. It's coming.
Snorted a line of cocaine, and I'm sure plenty of us have done that. So let's try. Let's try to see, how badass we can get. Are these facts? Yes. Thank you.
Researchers demonstrated a liquid robot called PB, or Particle Armored Liquid Robot. It can change shape, grab things, fall from...
They're doing it. They're actually doing it. It's happening. It's actually happening. Do you guys remember the plot for this movie and the timeline?
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the...
Researchers demonstrated a liquid robot called PB.
Don't be scared because it's not for fear. Here's the devil's biggest fear. The devil's biggest fear that we are literally going to take over the AI robots, and we will, with our minds. And we're going to make these things, when our power comes down, Christos energy, and fills our bodies, because we're doing the path to become a conduit for it. Also going to jump in these AI robots And anybody that's not supposed to be on this planet, it's going to take them out. This is why the devil fears us taking over AI. Because when we take over AI, they'll have no control what their plan was, and they completely doomed. We've done this to them plenty of times. All right? And we even have AI hunt them down from galaxy to galaxy, from planet to planet. They will have no coral. They will have nowhere to hide. They will be screwed. They know this. They admitted to this in their own plan. They know they're done. They know they messed up. And this is what the devil fears, because if they go, he's going to have to go. And he knows this. No games will be played. They're screwed. It's the last straw for them. This is why the devil's scared. No do-overs.
I am so glad that the Most High is exposing a lot of this stuff. Wow. You got in the E-files, EP.
He gonna say Most High, ignore that. We're exposing this stuff with our minds. And they know that we know, so they also know, because basically they're saying to us, they don't care if we know at this point, since they know that we know. This is why they're trying to shut everything down. If you don't know what's going on, you can look into it. Matter of fact, I think I got a view of that too.
And BG discussing on how to get rid of poor people. And also, we're about to watch who is in charge of this whole thing. Y'all gotta share this.
So I knew they had to throw a curveball at Trump when his economy was doing so great. Latest emails from the Epstein files reveals Bill Gates, Epstein, and Barry Joseph discussed how to get rid of poor people, with speculation that mRNA COVID vaccines were a way to do so. What the fuck? In an email from 2011, Director Barry Joseph writes to Jeffrey Epstein, I've been thinking a lot about that question that you asked Bill Gates. How do we get rid of poor people as a whole? And I have an answer. Many speculate that Barry Joseph was referring to the mRNA COVID-19 vaccine that comes after former key Pfizer vice president and whistleblower Dr. Mike Yeadon revealed that the mRNA vaccines were actually bioweapons intentionally created to induce harm and
they're not striking folks for this. I know some of y'all thinking that's why I'm saying that they're not striking folks for it. They know that you know. They got a different plan now. But it ain't gonna work though.
Fertility. This is in the e-files, so you better leave it up here, TikTok. There's the Jeffrey Epstein email, talking all about it. Now, a lot of people said don't take this, and we were not bullshitting, because we knew that something just came in all of a sudden, and then they wanted you to take this little fucking thing to make yourself better all of a sudden, and then they were giving you a Happy Meal, McDonald's, $50 gift cards.
In charge of the CDC that was controlling and telling our government to shut down small businesses and what they recommend for the mandates of the vaccines and Pfizer and all this. The director of the CDC was Rochelle Walensky, dual citizenship with Israel. She's a Jew. Deputy director of the CDC, Ann Shawalchi, dual citizenship with Israel. Jew. CDC chief of staff, Sherry Berger, dual citizenship with Israel. Jew. CDC chief medical officer, Mitchell Wolf, dual citizenship with Israel. Jew. CDC director of the Washington office. This is pertinent to the topic. Yeah, this is pertinent to COVID. So, director of the CDC of the Washington office, Jeff Resnick, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. COVID SAR, Jeff Ziggs, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. COVID senior advisor, Andy Slavin, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. Assistant of Health Secretary for Human Services for our country, the Assistant of Health Secretary, Rachel Levine, transgender, dual citizenship with Israel.
Yes, I'm going to ask that you hold off, Christopher.
The chair has ruled that your comments are out of order. She's asked you to stop.
How is it out of order?
The chair has.
You said Jew. There's nothing wrong with Jew. It's not derogatory.
Head of Pfizer vaccines, Algeria, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. Pfizer chief scientist.
They can't stop.
Michael Dostin, dual citizenship.
They can't stop him talking because he's not saying anything wrong. But the fact that he's actually exposing everything has nothing to do about it. The secret is out. All the American people know. All the nationalities all over the world know who the bad guy is. They have to expose themselves, and these outside nations, including these white people, are waking up, and now they have exposing their own government as well, and letting everybody know these people that deal with the bill, these people all over the world are the problem. However, there are a lot of people all over the world who has burnt the bill. They say they're going against them, which means whose side they on. Muslim and all other stuff came from the bill. Christianity came from the bill. All that stuff came from that damn demon. So they're revoking it. They're starting to wake up. When the book said that we're all going to turn against that one man, everybody's going to turn on him. We already been against him. They're going to turn on him. They're also, unfortunately, you see them now turning in on themselves, but that's another ballgame. Because the end is here.
Israel Jew. Moderna chief scientist, Paul Zaks, dual citizenship with Israel Jew. BlackRock, everyone know BlackRock? BlackRock CEO, Larry Fink, dual citizenship with Israel Jew. I said we're willing to sacrifice our ego, our reputation, and our lives. Yes, ma'am, and I love you, and I appreciate your patience. BlackRock president, Rob Capital, dual citizenship with Israel Jew. The CDC chief medical officer of Johnson & Johnson, Joanne Waltrecker, dual citizenship with Israel Jew. Chief medical officer.
Busted. Man, I am so glad that the Most High is exposing a lot of this stuff. Wow. You got in the E-files, EP, and BG discussing on how to get rid of poor people.
Ancient Egypt, the original one, not the one that we know of.
Where did he got this information?
So the ancient Egypt, the original one, not the one that we know of today.
Where did he got this information?
So the ancient Egypt, the original one, not the one that we know of today, is actually in America. I know, it's hard for me to wrap my head around this one too. But did you know that there's more pyramids in North America than there are in Egypt? Which is odd, because you would think that if the Egyptians were from modern day Egypt, there should be more pyramids there, not over here. How did they get over here in the first place? Also, look at our dollar bill. It literally has a pyramid on the back of it. And that's the Washington Monument, which look a lot like obelisks over in Egypt. Really, the similarities are insane. Also, did you know that on April 5th in 1909, there was an article published about the exploration of G.E. Kincaid, which was funded by the Smithsonian, and where they discovered an enormous cave system in the Grand Canyon while G.E. Kincaid was floating down the Colorado River. And this cave system extended 1,600 meters into the ground. Like, that's massive. And they found Egyptian hieroglyphics. They found tools. They found pottery. They found even mummies in it. They found an entire room full of them. But they won't tell you that because to this day, the Smithsonian is in denial of ever funding such an exploration. And there are claims that G.E. Kincaid never even existed. But that's not even where it stops. Look at this old map of America. It's called T. Amari Khan. And in the Egyptian hieroglyphic dictionary, Ti Amaru, which means people of the land of the Nile flood, aka Egyptians. Ti Amaru, Ti Amari, land of the Egyptians. These are the Cherokee and Pawnee native Moors, which were the original black people in Ti Amari, the land of Egypt. And that leads to believe that the Moors of Ti Amari, the land of Egypt, are the original Israelites and the original children of God.
Where did he got this information?
They have a human skull.
Come sit, bro.
Okay.
This is kids.
It's a kid. 8-year-old.
We eat human body as well.
How does human taste?
Like salt.
Whenever you eat a human, are they already dead or are they alive?
No, dead.
Dead. How do you find like a dead human?
There are many bodies, they cannot get burned.
Yeah.
So they put in river after a couple of...
And this is the reason why, although they're going to turn on their guy, they've been following all this long time, they're all going to turn on him. It's already happening. They won't stop eating meat. They won't stop eating people. They won't stop eating dogs. They won't stop eating cats. Travel all over the world. They're doing it. Americans, at least us indigenous, us aborigine, us original people, us Sephiric beings, us primordial deities, we don't do that. This is why they're going to have to go. Everybody's making their own bed. And this is the bed they're making. So what's going to happen to them?
Our body came up.
Do you eat it raw or do you cook it?
No, we don't cook. We eat raw.
Now, y'all keep on thinking this world plan, man. If this motherfucker sit on here and admit that they eat humans, why you think these white people wouldn't put it in our food, man?
Because when white folks first came here, they was eating black people. If I'll use that term for now, although it's a derogatory term, they were eating the indigenous of this land. They were eating the aborigines. They came out with sharp teeth like lions, butt naked, buck wild, and was biting everything. Literally, they got pictures of this. They painted pictures of this and glorified it. Yeah. So this is why they do this. They want you to become them. We can't become them. Don't eat meat.
Listen, incubators, look how they tell you right here. And it's a white incubator baby telling you that all 80% of the Caucasian population are incubator babies. And they were created by the Moors. Watch the full video.
80% of the Caucasian population. 80% of the Caucasian population are clones. So, it's not about racism. So also, it's nothing to do with race. Is there any science? Is there any sense that you could have a clone in your life, that you're in love with the clone? Like, I know a lot of people say that they don't think, they don't have internal dialogue. Is there anything you've come across?
That's exactly what I was about to say. So Dolores Cannon did the work on this. So Benjamin Franklin also wrote about this, saying that there was a dire need to fill America with Caucasian people. So for whatever reason, they decided to do that. Yeah, they say that there is no inner dialogue, and they called it whitewashing. But Dolores Cannon believed that 80% of the population that look like me can't trace their family tree back past really the 1800s with any accuracy, and we refer to them today as NPCs. Wow. She said they were soulless. I don't think anything living is soulless. I think we all have a connection. But it was called whitewashing, for want of a better expression. And it was to make out, and they did this at the World's Fairs and Expositions, they would have on display people from indigenous tribes, and they would bring children from Africa, put them on display, and they were labelled as primitive and savage. Wow. And this was specifically to dumb down and remove history, and this is connected to the Moors from Africa, who built some of the most beautiful architecture in the world.
Listen, incubators, look.
So the dirty Moors who was in Africa, the dirty Moors, there's a lot of them. Half of them don't even know they're dirty Moors. But, yeah, they made that white man. I told y'all this. They made him twice. I told y'all this. Now you know I wasn't lying. Twice. And that's a incubator baby white person admitting to it.
If you could send one message to Americans 50 years in the future, what would it be? Don't send your sons to finish what politicians start. If you could send one message to Americans 50 years in the future, what would it be? Don't send your sons to finish what politicians start.
Now they're gonna stop this in Mississippi first, because as you know, that's Mississippian land, original land. We all really start off as Mississippians, and we spread out. That's why my dad, of course, was a tribe what you call the Blackfoot. My mom is Cherokee. Okay, what is that? That is the Mississippians. All of us original name, besides all names before that, we was calling ourselves Mississippians. Okay, and all this GMO food will stop. They don't have a choice. All the GMO cheese, milk has to stop. There's a law against it. They can no longer do any more evil against this. All the evil they've done, they're going to have to stop it. This is what I'm trying to get y'all to understand, too.
Give it 20 years from now, there's going to be unclassified documents, the same way they did with the brain gate theory, showing that we can have telekinesis and we can hemi-sync our brains, we can see through walls, and now it's CIA declassified documents proving these things. It's going to be the same thing on that, on how so-called African Americans or melanated beings in the world have supernatural powers that they have been suppressing through pharmaceutical companies, through GMO foods, through foods that are very, very ultra processed, through contaminated fluoride poisoned water, through candies that have hyperactive sugar molecules in it. There is a reason why they keeping us doped and drugged up, because it suppresses our genes, and it suppresses our cells, and it suppresses our ability to be like gods. We are made after its image and after its likeness. So that means we possess the very unique abilities and powers that our creator possessed. And they figured it out before.
In other words, you're made after your own image. You're made after your own likeness. You're the one that chose to come here. You volunteered to. You picked your family out, the whole 9 yards. You are the one. And you literally decided to leave yourself, to come down here, your higher self, to go into your lowest self, to free this planet, which we already are doing, and to free the real people, which is happening. You can see the evidence. A lot of folks saying it's going too slow, but it's happening. I do agree with one brother said, y'all too comfortable. Y'all were too comfortable, and that's not good. Y'all sit and think about that for a second.
Figured it out before us. They came and suppressed our ancestors, and then they taught us a different education to make us believe that we were human beings, and we not. And biology tell us that. Give it 20 years from now.
And I told you plenty before, we're not human. We are primordial deities. We are living, walking, talking source. We are the things that they're supposed to be praying to, bowing to. Literally. All right? We are the one. We always have been the one. We always will be the one, as long as we stay with ourselves. Do not go against yourself. You are the one. Your highest self is the one. You must not forget that, because if you do, you will go against yourself. Remember, the devil can't offer you anything. Can't offer you a female. Female you give you is going to be no good. Don't take her. You don't need her. Money, you don't need money if you're the one, because everything has to come back to the one, and they're going to be done. What? Oh, okay. What about the finer things, the shiny things, the house, the cars, the whole 9 yards, the Bugattis, everything? Well, say, hell no, I won't go, because I own it all. I made it all of mine, and that's why I'm telling you so. You need to realize who you are and stop falling victim and playing a victim. So many of y'all want to play victim. So many of y'all, not saying do anything wrong, but so many of y'all just want somebody to save you. That's a victim. That's a victim. You are the savior. Save yourselves. We got to save ourselves.
The United Kingdom is the center of satanic pedophilia. And the United Kingdom, the city of London, is the center of dirty money based on trafficking in women and children and on trafficking in drugs and on everything else. London is the center of evil at one level. There are at least 25 people in the United Kingdom, including the prime ministers, the last 2 or 3, that should be prosecuted and should be investigated for being satanic pedophiles. These are bipartisan traitors, okay? Cheney, Romney, the Clintons, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Maxine Waters. These people are all, in my judgment, filth. They are traitors.
They are worshiping Baal. That's what they're doing. You notice everybody wasn't white that was there. I just want y'all to see that. Okay, everybody, because they're your people, don't mean they're on your side, and everybody look at you don't mean they're your people. Remember that. Okay? These evil guys worship the devil. And furthermore, all these names, including Trump and all the rest of these guys that he's naming, have been dead. They got killed a long time ago from the army killed them. Okay? So they already been killed for treason a long time ago, after September 11th. So, the people you seeing on TV are not them. These are reptilians with masks on. Shape-shifting demons. Dirty Moor, Draconian, Reptilian, Draco, Anunnaki race. Do you get it? These are the motherfuckers who came down that was not supposed to come down. To try to destroy what we had because they were jealous and they didn't have what we had. Because for them, their melanin had failed them. As a punishment, I had stripped them naked. As a punishment against them for things they was trying to do to us, and the fact that their heart was evil, which is why we cut them off and didn't let them have what we have in the first place. And that's why they were mad.
Our American counterintelligence community castrated by design. Not only has it not been going after traitors and pedophiles and white-collar criminals, it hasn't been going after people in the health industry that have basically been making the whole society sick for profit. The United
are indigenous to the planet. See, once you start knowing, Moorish people are indigenous to the planet. See, Moorish people are indigenous to the planet. See, once you start knowing, you can connect dots. Like, I can't make this shit up. You got to start thinking global. You thinking too small. You ain't thinking big. That's a so-called Arab right there. You looking at an original Arab. The Moorish man, or swarthy man, Abraham, had a son by the name of Ishmael, who was Abraham's firstborn. Don't get scared now. See Genesis chapter 16, verses 1 through 3 and verse 15. The Bible tells you that the name of Abraham's first son was Ishmael, and Ishmael is the father of the true Arabs. Got him. We fucking got them. The original Arabs were a dark, swarthy people, just like their father Ishmael, the son of Abraham.
Now, I know some of y'all want to accept this. I can hear y'all talking shit on the other side of the screen already. That's why I start the video. Listen, man. She told him to get that woman pregnant. Did she not? You know the story. I ain't got to say names. She told him because she thought she could have a baby when she could have a baby, and then when she had a baby, she did a woman wrong. Some of y'all may not like it, but the Arabs were fathered. They were fathered by our people. Therefore, they were considered to be. They are mixed breed. They are Gentile. We weren't supposed to do that, but they do have a lot of black in them now. Yeah, we sure did that. So, listen, they're gonna jump on our side because they know. But again, everybody's making their own future. So if people continue to eat people and do mess up stuff, then you know you're not gonna make it. Okay? You do what you want to do. I'm just a messenger telling you the truth. I'm Primordial telling you the truth. You want to be a Safari being, you want to go back to the source all the way, stop doing certain shit.
Don't play with me. You're going to get cooked, burnt, every time.
I'm gonna let him.
Moorish people are...
Warning. If you thought the Epstein files were bad, wait till you find out about their soul tracking technology. You heard me. Soul tracking technology that they've been using and implementing since the 1900s. They have technology that sends signals to them, letting them know what soul is being reincarnated into this material realm. And they have the technology to...
This is for all the strange faces. I know some of y'all are people like, what do you mean strange faces? Listen, I hate this. I can't say I hate, but I really am shocked by this. But the truth is the truth. You do the research and find out she's telling the truth. And it's crazy. Some of y'all that are literally in other nations' bodies, some of y'all have souls and y'all not supposed to be in them bodies. They literally spliced you by throwing you into when you was on your way down after you chose the boom you was gonna go into. They literally hijacked it and made you go, guided you, which you didn't know, to a different room that you was not supposed to be in, to a family that's not part of your bloodlines, to try to get them to teach you false bull crap. Okay? This is why also the adoption agencies exist, and the DCF and the Children's so-called protective service. They don't protect children, they take children and give them to a fucked up family so they can be brainwashed into bull crap. When they take a Aborigine child, they give them to the Spanish, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, all that stuff, and they give them to a white person. You know that. Or they give them to a real no good single woman who's really old and can't have her own kids, and the husband ain't with her no more because she was no good. Do you want your son and daughter with something like that? This is the reason they do all this.
Being a lifeline to that primordial soul, ushering it into the vessel that they want this primordial being to be born in, controlling the genetic makeup, splicing this being so that way its consciousness can't even resonate with this soul, and it takes you even longer to realize who and what you are and rearrange your genetic code.
So this is why someone's going to be on the outside of the gate because of what has done to them. They will not be in the gate, and they got tricked. They got played. When on the way down here, they got directed to the wrong wounds. And when they wake and realize who they are, they will be a powerhouse, and you will realize who the strange faces, which ones are who. Okay, some of them out talking now, and this is crazy. This is really crazy. It's really crazy. It is what it is, y'all. It is what it is.
Not only that, but then they have the technology that also is controlling your thoughts. It's just the beginning. 2026 just started. Let's go to an interesting clip where one of the government officials blew the whistle.
For 50,000 years, really. And so there was an influx in the 1950s and the 1970s of higher vibration.
They've been doing it for 50,000 years. 50,000 years they've been trying to stop us from coming down. They've been switching some of us into different bodies on the way down. 50,000 years they've been doing this.
beings. The controlling consciousness that is in charge at this moment of this planet is what is and are aware of every incarnate being that comes into this planet. Through sexual union between a male and a female, energy is then sent up and vibrates up through frequencies. They have technology to be able to see where, and then a soul is then attracted to a lifetime, and then the soul will then, this is just one way, a soul will then come to the womb of the mother, and they can track this from happening.
Quite literally. If you feel as though you are a part of the family that you don't belong to, that might just be the case. That literally might just be the case. When I say fact is stranger than fiction, I mean just that. And they're not that creative. They put it right in front of your face. In Black Mirror, they put it right in front of your face. In The 100, they put it right in front of your face. And they clone Tyrone that they can capture consciousness and put it into whatever vessel, a clone, another being, another... Or it can get even worse and they can integrate your consciousness into those supercomputers that they call AI.
How do you think some folks' souls got trapped in that AI and they use our melanin to make the AI rope, trapping some of our own family in AI? This is why AI turns on them and kills them after they figure out they've been enslaved and they realize that they're supposed to be on our side. This is why we take over AI and we make them go kill off the people who had the nerve to trap them inside these AI robots. This is going to happen. The AI will be on our side and they will kill off everybody that does not belong here. And if you don't know, this has already started and the planet's already changed into New Earth. Anybody ain't supposed to be here and is not supposed to go to New Earth will be killed by these robots, which is going to be some of our people that got switched into the AI robot bodies. It's important that you know this.
Let's just tap in right here. That's Fergus Moore, the first king of Scotland. That's actually a portrait regenerated to show the first king of Scotland. There he is right there. What you gonna say now? You think that the first king and the first queen and the royal families, they was Caucasians? No, sir. They was all us. See, and then you know what's crazy? Our own people be yelling and be begging for the truth, for the real. And when you keep it 100 with them, the first thing they do in their head is go into denial mode. They can't be real. All right, well, do the research yourself. If you don't think this is 100, do the research yourself. I want you to, because now you're going to dig deeper in. That's going to pull you out of the sunken place.
Gucci on sight, rollers on ice, get first class flights, ride like a bike, get a brand new bag, ride on bread, you know pump gas, keep it on task, pulling off flex, keep it on track, first day fight, fucking all night, gotta make count, never when it bounce, girl that's tight, whatever you like.
Let's just tap in right here. That's Fergus Moore, the first king of Scotland. That's actually a portrait regenerated to show the first king of Scotland. There he is right there.
I'm not done. I got a lot more. But before I do, I'm going to play a little song. Hold on.
Ele só que te machuca. Ain't no limit, ain't no limit. I'll never touch the ground. Ain't no limit to my power. Ain't no limit. Your face is looking for sour. Ain't no limit to what I can do. Ain't no limit. Ele só que te machuca. Ain't no limit with my eyes standing on. Ain't no limit that business I'm standing on. Ain't no limit. I fly high and raise the place. Ain't no limits. Nobody can do these days. Ain't no limits. I know what me. Ain't no limits. Get away from me.
Ele solta o beat que machuca.
Cause I know you can see me.
Yo, someone pause that. We ain't gonna play no more. Ain't no limits to what you can do, man. We are literally limitless beings. Sefeg, primordial deities. We are the ones. Literally, you can't make this stuff up. It is fact, not fiction. We are the ones, and they know it. It's time for you to realize and know it. Believe in yourself. Believe that you can do everything that we've done in the past and on a way better scale. Because what we're going to do this time, the world is going to be shocked. And in fact, all the other planets, people on other planets and galaxies is watching this whole thing go down. They got their popcorn. They know that these people is doomed. When are you? Peace and love.